You could make less than 70,000 a year and be super wealthy. And you could be a high earner and not be wealthy because income and wealth are not the same thing. Now, we're told the true indicator of wealth is your net worth. That is subtracting everything you owe, your debts, from everything you own, your asset. If that gives you a positive value, then you were wealthy. But I say that's rubbish. If I had zero debts and I have a home worth 500,000 with only a mortgage balance of 100,000 on it, then technically I have $400,000 net worth. Am I wealthy? On paper, yes. But in reality, no. Because if I needed money tomorrow or next month, I can't access that $400,000. And I'm only $400,000 wealthy as long as my home is valued at 500,000. Now that you get the picture, what are the indicators of wealth? Because when you know the true indicators of wealth, you can focus your energy and focus your focus in the right place. The very first is savings. I know I can say this 100,000 times, but to me, this is the number one and the most important indicator of wealth. Everyone is wealthy as long as paycheck is coming in. We're all flourishing as long as we're getting that money coming in every month. But what happens if you lose your job? To me, that is the biggest flex. Knowing that my paycheck or your paycheck is not that final chip that should it get moved, everything starts crashing down. That I am not relying on my next paycheck to stay afloat. I'm good. And I'm not talking I'm good for 2 months. No. We're talking a minimum of 6 months. Minimum. I know experts say 3 to 6 months. But post 2008, post pandemic, that's your first goal. Once you hit 3 months, strive for 6 months. Once you hit 6 months, I strive for 1 year. I know it may seem excessive, but like I said, these are indicators of wealth. This is really where I start counting my positive net worth, my savings. If I need money tomorrow, I can get it. If I need money in 6 months, I can get it without having to sell anything. I can still keep my asset, my house. I don't have to sell it and still take care of my financial need with my savings. Another indicator of wealth is your discretionary income. Sometimes we overcomplicate this finance thing. The simplicity of finance, the ABC, the 1, 2, 3, you get a point. The basic of being wealthy, the basic indicator is how much do you have left over every month? Because once again, you may have a positive net worth, but what is your cash flow? My house is worth 500,000. Good. But after I pay my bills at the end of the month, how much do I have left to do whatever I want to do? How much do I have left to hit my financial goals? That is an indicator of wealth. If I bring in 6,000 every month, but my expenses are 5,000, I'm worse off than someone who brings in 3,000 every month and have $1,000 expense because they have $2,000 to play with every month. I definitely cannot achieve as much as the person who is working with 2,000 every month. I may eventually, but it's going to be at a much slower pace. The point is, now that you know the true indicators of wealth, you can focus on that. Now you can focus your energy on let's cut back our expenses so we have a bigger discretionary income because that is an indicator of us doing well financially. I'm going to come to this. Be it age, maybe because I'm getting older, it's always staring at me in the face. But there's nothing bigger than the flex of I don't have to work at age of 70. I don't have to work till I'm 85. You may be wealthy now and you have this discretionary income and your savings is great. But if come 70, you were still having to work. Work by choice is different, but you're still having to work. Well, what? What was the point? Because you're doing all this work now to build your house, i.e., your account for when you were 70. Now, let's not kid ourselves. Like I said, sometimes we overcomplicate this finance thing. A true indicator of wealth is also the ability to do all these things that we consider expensive without going into debt. When you can go on vacation and pay cash for it, I'm not saying you have to pay cash, but you have the cash in your account to pay for it. I use credit cards for the points, but if you're able to pay off that credit card at the end of every month, that is a true indicator of wealth. For that to happen means you have, you're watchful of your expenses, you're watchful with your spending, you have a spending plan. And so every month you're not going over your spending. What you're spending is within your income and you can afford to pay it off every month. When you can go out to eat and pay only that bill, not interest on it for the next 10 months. When you can buy yourself that outfit and pay just that amount, regardless of the amount, be it $5, be it 150, but you can pay it, not pay eventually $300 on it because it's been carrying interest upon interest upon interest. That is a true indicator of wealth. We can, zhuzh it up and all, but at the end of the day, the ability to afford the finer things, keyword afford, the finer things, is a true indicator of wealth. You're not going to be able to afford those things if your expenses are high. You're not going to be able to afford those things if you've put money for retirement, you put for savings, and there's nothing left. So the ability to do the savings, do the retirement, and still be able to afford this, go on vacation and pay it off. You're not paying for 2 years vacation plus last year's vacation and then this year's vacation. That is an indicator of wealth. Once again, you can always achieve this with having a spending plan. You may have to put your head down and, toil for a little bit, maybe a short period of time, you go intense so that you can then be able to do this. Either way, the point is, once you're able to do this, this shows you're wealthy regardless of your income. Unfortunately, all these indicators are not sexy. Other than your bank account, no one else knows you're wealthy, right? You can live in the most expensive house in the exclusive neighborhood or drive the slickest car or wear the most expensive quiet but loud luxury. You can do all that, but you will be no different from other people who are doing it, but are up to their eyeballs in debt. It's not sexy. There's no way you can show it up. But should you care? Is your pursuit of wealth to show you are wealthy, or is it to have the peace of mind knowing that you were good regardless? You were good even if your paycheck stops tomorrow. You were good even if the economy tanks. You can survive up to a year. You don't have to work till you're 90. Isn't that what your pursuit of wealth is for? For your own happiness? For your own happiness and satisfaction? Put your head down. Focus on your focus. Focus on meeting these landmarks, these goals, these indicators. The difficulty in working for these goals, these true indicators of wealth, is that it can feel as though all we're doing is work, 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 working for the future and not necessarily enjoying our existence right now. Well, there's a solution for that. Watch this video on how you can save for the future while living today. I'll see you there.